it's going to show us ever so briefly, and then I'm going to remember, oh yeah, don't be on camera at the start, because I have a method.
Hey, John, don't be on camera at the start, because you have a method.
Yep, thanks, Ben. And then I'm going to remember...
You're welcome.
And then it's going to be doubled up, because I had my
audio.
audio.
No, it's going to be doubled up, because the audio.
Ben, that is enough of that.
I don't know what you're talking about. This is my normal voice.
My gosh.
Show's canceled, everybody.
Oh, that's horrible. I guess
no,
I don't want.
You know what? I don't. Yes, please switch to your podcast voice.
Okay, I can do that.
Good lord.
I just tried to type on my keyboard to type in the iPad. This is going to be a fun show.
Ben,
are we all tired?
What's going on right now?
You just made me realize how shallow I am.
You wouldn't be my friend if I actually talk like that?
Yeah,
is that what you're saying?
Not at all. If you were like, hey, John, I'd be like,
well, that makes me really sad, John.
I don't know what you guys are talking about.
I want to be your friend. No, I'm
Hi, Arlena. Hi, Fizz.
We're friends, John.
No.
Oh, man. Can you imagine driving to BlizzCon with me talking like that the whole time? And
I'd
you cannot escape?
Yeah, sorry. I'm putting on headphones real loud, noise-canceling kind. I'm going to sleep in the back. No.
Hey, John, guess what we're going to talk about today?
No, nothing. Not a thing.
Also, hello, Thist. Hello, Arlena.
Hi, chat room. We're here.
Chat room, best room.
Yeah.
More of this Red Bull needs to get to my brain.
It's good.
Just dump it on your head. It'll soak through.
I have caffeine.
Oh,
I need access to caffeine.
I wonder if Red Bull would make a good hair product.
Well, no, and make it stand up because it gives each individual strand wings.
Oh, snap.
So, I mean, you want to know how people do mohawks that stay up? They just dump Red Bull just right in the center of their hair. Yeah, just all...
It's all Red
Glue
Bull.
is
right
so 1980. Yeah, it's all about the Red Bull.
I'm sorry, everybody. I just woke up. Hi. I'm going to wake up.
Okay, John, be honest. Did my text wake you up?
No, it did not. I had been up at that point. I had an
Okay,
alarm set at 10, though, and I got up at 10.
Okay, because one of the reasons why I texted you was to make sure that you were awake.
You were like, oh, John was up at 2 a.m. last night. He should probably get some sort of message.
Yeah, I saw when you sent that tweet, and I saw it on my Twitter, and it said like 50 minutes ago, and I was like, ooh, I should probably sleep.
So what you're saying is that last night would have been an okay night for us to record at night.
No, because I have to lay down at night. My body sucks. Like, I can go for, like, I don't know, 12 hours of sitting upright and or moving around the house, and then my body's just like, nope, you're laying down now. So, but my brain doesn't shut up. That's what sucks.
Yeah, I understand completely. That's why I listen to the ocean to fall asleep every night.
I love that. I've tried that before. It's nice.
Yeah, now the problem is that if I ever go to the ocean and lay down, I fall asleep.
So I found a new alarm clock app that is just birds chirping, and it's amazing because I love waking up to bird sounds, except when it's the same birds that I have outside. So like at 6 a.m. when they start chirping, I'm like, oh shit, my alarm's going off. Oh, damn. Well, at least I'm up.
See, I feel like if I heard bird sounds in the morning, I'd just be like, back to bed. No alarm has gone off here. It's time to keep sleeping.
Well, honestly, it really depends on the bird. I mean, if it's nice chirping noises and stuff, yeah, John, I'd be in the same boat. But if it's all of a sudden like, I might have issues. Like all of a sudden, I'm like, oh my god, they're finally here. That. Sorry, I didn't mean to do that exactly while you're drinking. My bad.
It's fine. This can's almost empty. We're good.
Oh, okay, good.
And then I have coffee.
Chug.
That's how you have to do it with the Red Bull. I got into drinking Red Bulls when I was playing DDR. Well, now it doesn't because I'm used to it. But I would play a song on DDR, and I got like all these free Red Bulls from a hotel convention that they had left over. And this was like, God, like 15 years ago or so. And...
Are you still drinking them?
Yes, that same case.
I'm just making sure. You said a lot. I didn't know how many.
Nah, it kickstarted my addiction. So I would play a song and then I wanted flavor, but I didn't have like soda or anything, and I didn't want to drink water because that has no flavor except it tastes like water. So I just started chugging this Red Bull, even though I'm like, man, this tastes like butt. And then by the time I was done playing a bunch of songs on DDR, I felt so good because I had exercised and I had way more energy. So it really kicked off a bad addiction for a while.
So it's great. Back when I was in my DDR days, I was actually smoking crack. I had so much energy to do this.
I was so good at DDR too. I was a DDR god.
Quickly.
Yeah, I was playing Afro Nova on the hardest difficulty. It was great.
Oh my goodness.
I know, it's the only song I can remember.
Play DDR. Your lungs will hurt.
Really? That's
Even whether it's crack or anything else, I don't care. Don't smoke when you're playing DDR.
That's kind of a weird. That's the only DDR song you can remember. I would think
I
most
remember
people
Butterfly, I
remember Butterfly.
59.
Yeah, but I think Butterfly is like is what most people think of when they think of DDR.
Aye, my little butterfly.
Green, black, and blue make the colors in the sky. Which I don't really know. It doesn't, but it's fine.
Well, you know what that means, John.
Don't. Are you gonna play Butterfly?
No.
Don't. He's got a guilty look on his face. He's totally doing it. Now, there it is. Whoa, that's loud.
I turned it down. Sorry. Ooh. Okay, we're done.
Okay, show's over. I'm gonna go play DDR now.
Do you actually have a good home version with a mat that doesn't slide all over the floor so you can't actually play it?
I have in the room above my garage. It's a hardwood floor, so I have the standard mats that have like the non-skid stuff on the bottom for an original Xbox.
Nice.
And I have the 4 DDR games that came out for that. And I have 3 pads, so in case one of them ever dies, I have an extra. And
that's actually
to get
really
rid of
cool.
my Xbox. Because I'm like, why would I get rid of my DDR machine just because it's old? It still works.
What
Still
you need to
plays
do is
DDR.
find an actual DDR machine.
Oh gosh.
Before we get into the show, I just have to say I hate that they changed it so that it's like the corners and then the center. That's just it's a bastardization of DDR. Have you not seen that?
Game?
I think it's a different game, but then I think DDR took
No.
that over. But it's the 4 corners and then the center, so it's 5 buttons now as opposed to just the 4.
I wouldn't be able to do it. I'd still be stepping on the ones that are, directional.
I tried and I'm like, no, my mind is
not.
wired for the cross.
Mm-hmm.
Did you guys
I know they
play?
have actual. Go ahead.
Did you play Hitman where you can kill a guy with DDR?
No.
What?
Yeah.
Tell
But
me
does
of
the
this.
machine fall on him?
No, it's in the hospital level. There's a guy who's getting heart surgery, and you can set the DDR machine to be super fast. And I think it makes his heart explode. I haven't done it, but I saw it in there, and I saw I could tamper with it to make it super fast. And I thought, oh, guy with heart issues, DDR machine going crazy
Why would
fast.
he be playing DDR in the
That's
first
what I'm
place?
wondering.
You know,
Or is
Why
the
would the
machine in the
hospital have
surgery
it?
room?
I don't know. I don't know how you do it. We should try it at some point. I'll find
Doctor
out how to
tells the
kill
nurse,
somebody
like,
with
hey, go play
DDR.
the DDR machine. That's how we're restarting his heart.
Yeah.
It's just we're hooking it up. So the faster you step, the faster his heart will go.
Maybe it's like
I
physical
don't know.
therapy, like, hey, we need to make sure your blood's pumping, so we're gonna have you do this thing. But we gotta keep it at a reasonable level. Oh no, it's at a fast level. He's dead.
Who needs just taking a leisurely stroll around the hospital hallways when you can play DDR?
I guess I
Yeah,
should
it's
say
just-
that game is sometimes tricky. Maybe you don't kill him with it. Maybe it's how you get somebody else to go where you need them so you can do something else. So I don't know, but you can definitely tamper with it to be super fast.
And the thing is I could just picture him in physical therapy or doing something, again, leisurely walking around the hospital, and all of a sudden he just hears and then stops, turns and looks through the door, walks in and pops in a quarter.
You just wanted to listen to more Butterfly.
I kind of want to listen to the whole song. Once we're done, I'm gonna listen to it.
Absolutely.
He's
Yeah.
gonna listen and dance in 4 cardinal directions.
Yes, that's the only way I can dance these days. Forward, back, jump on the sides.
Did
Left,
they
right,
ever
left.
put any kind of DDR reference in Warcraft? That would be something to look up.
It was an April Fool's Day joke, I thought. Although
Yeah.
that was more of a
that's
riff
cute.
on Guitar Hero than DDR, but
Yeah.
Yeah, the bard, right?
yeah.
Because they have the Plants vs. Zombies level. Can you imagine if they made our characters play DDR somehow? It's the new dance studio. Here you go, guys.
We did it.
Um,
It's finally in there.
Well, there was a guy who got to level 100 by using dance mats.
Yes. That guy's kind of genius.
Yeah.
Is he though?
Well, hey, you know what? If it helped him get in shape from playing WoW on a dance pad, sure.
I mean, sure. I guess I've only gotten out of shape by playing World of Warcraft, so I mean, he's got a
More Hot Pockets.
bathroom.
Damn. Oh, that's the worst part of that episode.
So I went with the Hot Pockets.
Well, you did the
Food
before,
in.
John did the after.
Yeah. Yep.
And on that note, let's go ahead and start the show. What do you think?
Let's start the
Okay.
show. I wanted to say it like that because it's morning and I can hit lower notes.
Yes.
But only for
Why?
a little while longer.
Then you'll be away.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Good morning,
Bop,
everybody. This is what happens when we don't record at night. We
You become a
real
I don't know,
low.
horror movie monster.
Hello. I'm the WoW man.
Hello, can you go?
About this low.
Cool. Cara.
You guys having a tournament?
Yeah, it's definitely fun.
That's amazing! Woohoo! Wow! I didn't think your voice could go that high.
Well, that's the I have to alter how I talk way, because if I try to go like actually high with my normal voice, I don't get very high. I can go like this high.
Oh my gosh,
really
that
hard to
sounds
do.
painful.
It hurts.
You don't want to get high, Ben? You can't get high? That's my
You want to
approach.
get high?
Oh, so much better voices than me.
John's the best. He does good stuff.
John is the best.
Aw,
Oh,
thanks everybody.
bright light, bright light.
Bright light, bright light.
Hey John, do you know his song? Because I don't know his song.
Whose song?
Gizmo song.
No. Didn't he just like make weird?
You
I
said
don't know.
Gizmo, and I'm thinking of like Gizmo Zord. And I'm like, he's got a song.
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
got his own theme song
I,
now.
I was like, hey Gizmo, what's up? And he's all, bright light, bright light. I'm gonna do a podcast about Heroes of the Storm. Oh, all right, Gizmo. I'd probably listen to that. Yeah, you're gonna be on the show with TBK. You know TBK? I'm like, yeah,
Hey,
yeah,
hey.
Gizmo. I know TBK. Also, I'm gonna
Yeah.
do Convert to Raid.
Hey.
It's a show about World of Warcraft.
Hey Gizmo, do your impersonation of Abathur.
Hey guys, I'm Abathur. I'm gonna put
Yeah.
a hat on your head.
Spot
I
on.
think this is the voice pack.
Get ready, cause I'm gonna be on your head, and then I'm gonna clone you, and then I'm gonna attack all the bad guys. Thanks, Greg. That's awesome.
And our special guest today.
Yeah, you didn't know that Gizmo was gonna be on the show today, did you? Surprise! It's me. Hi, everybody. This is the voice I use when I'm on other shows.
I wonder if Greg
Oh.
wants to do the intro.
So you've got a podcast too, or a podcast voice too. Shit, I don't even remember what I was doing earlier. It wasn't exactly like that.
Now I'm gonna have to
but,
tell him to listen to this episode just so he can hear our impression.
I'll make sure
of
to
it.
add that on
Okay.
at the end.
Just,
That
It'll
works
be on.
too.
yeah, just
Definitely. All right. Cara, would you like to do an intro, or do you want me to go ahead and just jump right in?
You
up
can
to
jump right in. That
All right.
sounds good.
Cool.
I'll pretend I'm not here, and then you'll just hear random giggling.
Well, in that case, welcome to Azeroth Roundtable, episode 222. My name is Ben Bumhofer, and with me, as always, is John Jagger. How's it going, John?
Hello, Ben. It's
Wow, that's like slightly less excitement than
the
you normally have.
weekend in Azeroth, I hear.
Yes.
And
yes, it is.
I'm happy to know that you guys are at the round table. I'm going to take your word for it, because I'm not in Azeroth, but we'll talk about that in a second.
Yes, we will.
So, Ben, seeing as I'm not there, and I'm communicating to you through some sort of weird interdimensional portal.
Through the BattleNet chat.
Yeah, through BattleNet. Why don't you tell me who's at the round table with you? Because it's not me, because I'm not in Azeroth.
Well, with us this week, I got to say I'm very happy that she could join us, partly because it's a Saturday and partly because she's a fun guest to have. Cara, welcome back to the show.
Hey guys, thanks for having me back.
Hello.
Hey.
Welcome
I'm so
back.
excited to talk about stuff and things.
Hey, I like stuff and things. John, do you like stuff and things?
I do.
Do you put stuff in things?
I do.
Stuffing things into my mouth.
Well,
Like
I'm
Hot
going to
Pockets.
just back away from that one and...
Like Hot Pockets.
Yeah.
And popcorn.
Hi, everybody.
and
Look,
Red
a
Bull.
Look
distraction.
at me, look at me, look at me. Don't look at me.
So, John, what is this about you not being able to get into Azeroth?
Well-
I'm asking, pretending I don't know what's going on.
Well, hey, this is normally the part of the show where people go, "Oh, John, he's going to be like, I'm not playing World of Warcraft. I'm better than everybody. I got other games to play." No,
Wait,
I
do you
John
say
doesn't
that
play
every week?
Warcraft.
No,
What are you
I
talking
think
about?
people say that. I think people have the idea that I
Oh.
don't ever play World of Warcraft.
Well, you know what? I'll say this. This week, I did not play World of Warcraft, except for doing Withered training on 2 characters,
you
which
played
gives me a grand total of about 8 minutes.
World of Warcraft and you got paid
Yes.
overtime for it. We know. I wanted to play though, Ben. I wanted to do the many deaths of Chromie. I was making progress there. I wanted to keep getting artifact power so I could finally max out my weapon and get some other birds I'm not going to fly around on. Like there was stuff I had to do.
Okay.
But it turns out I have apparently one of a few people who have discovered a incredible bug, and I can't log into the game anymore. I've tried
Oh, no.
reinstalling. I've tried installing on different drives. I've messed with my internet settings. I've messed with my game settings. I've tried with and without add-ons. And I've been in touch with customer service for a couple days as they try to figure out what's wrong. And we're not even to the try this solution. We're still in the let's try to figure out what's wrong stage of our communications. So it hasn't been going well. And basically, from what I've been able to gather, because apparently I'm not the only person having this issue, and the issue is that I can't log into Dalaran. So when
The server Dalaran. You can't log on to that server?
Nope. Just Dalaran the place. So
Oh, no. That's where everything's happening, John.
yeah, it's also where my order hall is. But anyway, I was able to log in initially. I think this was on Wednesday, and I popped into the Rogue order hall, did some stuff, went to leave, and they have down there, there's these little doors that have little knockers on the door, and if you click it, it will teleport you to a place within Dalaran. So I clicked it. It went to a loading screen, which was weird because usually it's very fast. And then next thing I know, I'm back in the order hall. And it just gave me an error saying world server not available. I was like, well, that's odd. Tried it again, same thing. And I thought, well, I see friends on and I see people in Dalaran. It has
use my Hearth,
to
right?
be here. No, I didn't Hearth. So the
that's
Rogue
good.
order hall, you can go through another door, and it just opens straight into Dalaran. So I just went through there. And I was just like, all right. I go through there. Place is empty. Nobody's around. And I know there should be people there.
John, the
And
Legion won.
I'm wandering around, and it is just deserted.
When you
And
rogue so much, everyone else vanishes.
yeah, basically, I'm too
You
good.
won the game.
I did it. I'm the best rogue. So I stepped on the little teleport pad because I was gonna go visit my buddy Chromie, and it teleported me back to leaving my order hall.
Oh,
So
man.
I ran back out, tried it again, back to my order hall again. So I walk out into the middle of Dalaran, I'm like, well, this is dumb. Maybe I just need to relog. So I log out, and that was the last time I was able to log my character into the game. So,
Ouch.
yeah, it's
So
been...
you haven't played in like 4 days?
Yeah.
Dang.
Like, I can get on other tunes, like my warrior is up in Skyhold, and I can log on to that character, but if I try to teleport down to Dalaran, it just bumps me back up to Skyhold. And what's weird is, so in talking with the GMs, they've been able to log into my account and run around and be places, so it is something between my computer and connecting to Blizzard servers that Dalaran just doesn't work for me at all anymore. So
that's really weird. And the thing is so I tried logging in just to make sure that I could, because I figure we've got probably the closest IP addresses out of, I mean, who knows if anybody else plays in this complex, but I mean we're same internet company, same like essentially location, things like that. Everything's fine. So it's not like it's an issue with the IP as far as I know of.
Yeah. And I've heard, so they said you're not the only person with this problem, and they pointed me to a forum of people talking about it, and it seems like it is people on Earthen Ring 100% across the board. So
which terrified me.
Our server is apparently got a secret version of Dalaran that traps people forever.
So what you're saying is that Jaina and her plan to make the Horde leave Dalaran worked.
Oh.
It's started. Well, I don't know if, because you're technically trapped in Dalaran. So is it really
She's targeting
leaving?
the Earthen Ring. She's mad at Thrall.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah,
know.
there you go.
It's bad. There's now a lore
hypothesis.
reason for me not being able to play WoW anymore.
Oh, that's not good, John. And you know what happens when you get her mad? She'll just calm down in the book and then get mad again in the game.
It did make me realize
Valid
something,
argument.
though. And I just...
That you miss WoW?
No, it made me realize how stable that game actually is. Because, like, running into a problem like this where it's not something that I was able to fix in a day, that it has been a multi-day thing, I'm like, what is going on? Whereas you look at any other MMO launch and it's like, all right, I'll probably play when the game's playable in a month. Like, it really shows where WoW is at. I think sometimes we take for granted because maybe we have little moments here and there where we run into technical difficulties, but generally speaking, that game's pretty stable. And
Absolutely.
so now that I'm at an issue where I have multiple days where I can't log in, I'm like, well, broken game. Not true, but it feels bad. I want to... Chromie's dying, Ben. And who else will save her besides apparently everybody
let me tell
in
you,
the world?
she dies no matter what I do so far. I got to ask though, Cara, have you had any sort of game glitches or anything like in a while? Because I mean, John's pretty much hitting the nail on the head here, where it's a very stable connection and game and everything.
No, you're right. I can't recall anything like that ever happening to me. The worst I've ever had was like way back in the day before authenticators was getting hacked, and that was nothing to do with the game. So,
Yeah.
Yeah. Nothing to do with the game.
I mean, they did it in the game. They took all of my characters and they got all my gold and stuff. But then the GMs fixed it, so everything was fine.
Yeah, I know. I was trying to think of something nefarious to go with that, and I just couldn't think of anything that seemed remotely funny.
You're bad at being nefarious.
Yeah, I kind of am sometimes. I try not to be, so I guess that's a good thing, right?
Yeah.
Is it because you're dabbling into playing Alliance?
No, if so, I'd be more nefarious.
That makes him seem shady, honestly. Like,
Yeah.
I would question Ben's morals the more he plays Alliance.
Well, I do have my Alliance mage who's just sitting there at 100. I don't even know. Has she gotten her artifact weapon yet? I'm not sure about that. No, I'll figure that out. Whatever. But yeah, so I haven't been able to play all that much this week either. And I gotta say, it's kind of a little bit of a bummer because there's a lot that's going on in WoW. Like
Because
a
you've
whole ton.
realized that you've sacrificed your life for work, and
Yeah, that part's kind of sucky too. But no,
But
so
you're on
okay.
vacation.
Well, as of after my 13 and a half hour shift yesterday, yes, I am on vacation.
Hooray,
So
vacation.
it's been a tough week. But so here's the thing. Wednesday was raid night, and as everybody knows, Tuesday the Tomb of Sargeras dropped. So as is tradition with this expansion, anytime that there's new raid content, my raid team will beat the first boss without me there on the first night. It's how it goes, which is kind of a bummer because I like to be there for the first kill for things and stuff like that. But good job for them.
Yay!
So yay. But it got me thinking about something that John kind of mentioned last week.
that your raid team
And-
doesn't need you.
They
Aw.
don't need me at all.
I'm kidding, Ben.
No,
No, they need
I'm
you.
gonna go.
You're there
Well-
to remind people that they're going to keep going. How would they know that you're going to keep going if you're not there to say, hey, guys, we're going to keep
We're just
going?
gonna keep going. Yeah. So, well, apparently on the second boss, I did see some in the raid planning Discord that they're all like, we really needed you there for that one. I'm like, yay! So I felt good about that. But because of that kind of brought up some discussion among some of the people in raid about how we do have people who aren't able to log in or who don't play as much as everybody else, and they're behind on artifact power or like the order hall of being able to wear 2 legendaries or things like that. And it really kind of nailed home the fact that I already feel like I'm kind of behind just because I haven't been able to log in this week. And the thought of there's so much to do and so much to catch up on and everything like that really kind of hit home for me. And John, last week you were talking about hinting at a potential topic for the future, which just happens to be today.
It's the
about
future?
In the
Fine.
future?
Yeah, I know, it's kind of weird.
Amazing.
We made it.
So John, I think that this kind of helps highlight it a little bit, but what was that thought that you were talking about last week?
Okay, so I'm going to put a preface on this and say that sometimes weird thoughts pop into my head, whether I agree with them or not. And I find discussing these sorts of things to be compelling and interesting. So before people hear what we're about to talk about and say and think that it's me trying to command policy, let's be clear that I'm just throwing out a thought experiment, essentially. I'm not saying this is right or wrong. I'm saying, hey, this is something we, as a collective group of people who play and enjoy a game, should think about. So the thought of the day... Oh,
hold on.
Go
and
ahead.
This isn't John saying he hates WoW.
Oh, no, they're going to think that no matter what. But...
Well, that's why I had to say that, just because it's not that.
So here's the thought of the day. Thought of the day, week, whatever you want to call it, is WoW too big? And
Yes.
All right, Ben's already
Done.
answered.
Okay.
He figured it out.
Ew.
The reason I had this thought was this. So this patch came out, and I was very excited about the mini deaths of Chromie. And only excited about the mini deaths of Chromie. It's the only part of the patch that mattered to me.
Because you just love watching her die.
Basically. No, it was the really cool, compelling, kind of single player, play when you want, invest the time you want into it content. The biggest thing that drove me away from raiding is I don't like setting aside scheduled times for things. I have enough things in my life that I have to set aside this window of time for. I don't need stuff that should be fun also being a part of that. I don't want to do that. And that's fine. Like, a lot of people do like to do that, and that's how they relax, and that's how they have a good time. It's not for me. And so, as a result, just this patch didn't contain anything I really cared about. And we've been waiting for months and months for this patch. And the patch prior to it, I was really excited about a few things in that, but not a lot. There wasn't a lot in the patch prior that I was super excited about either. And we were waiting months and months for that. And what I've discovered is that there's kind of one, maybe two things per patch that I'm actually interested in. And there's months in between them. And for a point of reference, I thought of, and this will surprise no one, and I apologize, Heroes of the Storm.
What?
I know. Shocking, right?
Oh, man.
That game has a patch every 3 weeks, essentially. And I'm not trying to do a direct comparison because they are very different games, but it's a small patch by comparison. I mean, WoW, their patch notes are huge. They change a ton of things, the amount of work and effort and all of that go into them. You know, Heroes, some new items, some balancing, a new hero every 3 weeks. But the difference is, whereas I'm only caring about one thing with months in between for WoW, I'm caring about roughly 100% of the thing that comes out in Heroes every 3 weeks. And the reason they're able to do that is Heroes is a much smaller, more focused game. They only have to do a new hero, some new items, some balancing. Like, not to say that their job is easy by any means, but like they only have to focus on this one thing. WoW kind of has to cater to all these different play styles and all these different things that they've put into the game over the years. I mean, even as far as, you know, pet battles or getting the pet dungeons is a new thing that's coming into the game. That's going to cater to people who like that part of the game. That's even a new part of the game. Yes, Ben, you're one of them.
Yay!
So they keep expanding the game out in these weird ways, and it brings in people who like this content, but then they also have to continue to support and balance and patch around it. And the game just keeps growing exponentially, which means there's more and more stuff they have to focus on. And that means there's less and less time that can be dedicated to kind of all the content. Like, they can't hit everything. As it is, they can't hit everything.
Yeah.
And that
one of the things is, like, this last patch was, and I quote, the biggest patch that's ever come to World of Warcraft.
didn't feel like it.
Yeah.
It's
I mean,
kind of the difference between in Harry Potter when Dudley gets like 1 million presents on his birthday and he's not happy with it, versus Harry gets one crappy sweater and he's like elated. Not that Heroes of the Storm is giving you crappy sweaters, but it puts it in perspective. If you just got one crappy sweater and you were Dudley, you'd be like, what in the world? But if Harry got, you know, a bajillion presents, he would probably pass out because he's not used to it. So that's my metaphor.
by the way, confirmed, next Heroes patch, they're adding crappy sweaters to the loot boxes.
Nice. I'm ready.
Everybody gets a crappy sweater with a big letter of their name on
Well,
it.
it's summer, so they're actually giving Speedos, but it's fine.
Abathur in a Speedo.
No,
No.
that's not Abathur. But it's, you know, so that's what kind of got me thinking about that, was just, is WoW too big? Like, if we could narrow the scope of WoW down, if we could all, and we never will, which is why this is a hypothetical question, if we could all agree that these are the things that are actually important within WoW, and let's cut off the fluff, like, could we make a game where suddenly every patch, instead of maybe kind of hitting here and there, hits for everybody?
Well, okay, first thing we do is take out raiding, because no one does that.
Yep, no,
PvP, gone.
No.
we could
Questing,
probably drop
gone.
levels. Don't need story.
No. Basically, look, if we got rid of all the graphics and stuff, if we just turned it into a chat interface,
Oh, they could patch
Perfect.
anything.
yeah, exactly. This is the biggest content patch ever. Now we have new emojis.
Yay!
If you wait long enough, everything becomes just a chat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But so the thing is that, I mean, look at how many systems are in place. We have leveling and questing. We've got PvP, we've got raiding, we've got pet battles, we've got crafting, we've got you can say the auction house. Some people only play the game just
and
for
even
that.
within
Gotta make gold.
PvP, you've got Battlegrounds, Arena, Open World PvP, and now their new brawls. So,
Yeah.
But when WoW started, it didn't have all of these things. It was very cohesive.
Did they have PvP? They didn't have that at the very beginning, did they?
They
Well, I mean,
had-
they had like
you
PvP, but not like battlegrounds and stuff, right?
Right, they didn't have any of that. And there was no system to go with it. It was just you could kill other players.
Yay.
So as the game has gotten bigger and grown in age, they've added more and more things for a slew of different people to come and play. And now the game is just kind of overwhelmingly huge. So if you're a new player to WoW, you've never set foot in WoW, like where do you even begin? I think that's where the problem is it's just really overwhelming with how much you possibly could do. Not that you have to do. And one of the things you guys mentioned is the idea of being behind, that you feel like you're behind when you're playing because you're logging in and you're not up to snuff with the people that you play with, I guess, that you're raiding with or that you're, I don't know, PvPing with or questing, whatever, that there is no behind in Warcraft if you're choosing what you want to do and choosing how you want to play the game.
Yeah, and I mean that's the funny thing is that because there is so much choice, you have options. But then going like conversely to that, so back in Warlords of Draenor, John, you and I have had probably many episodes of, well, I didn't really do anything today. There's nothing left for me to do. I remember that happened quite a bit to the point where a lot of the time people would just like send us emails or tweets or whatever to say, oh yeah, well, there's nothing to do. There's this and this and this and this and this and this. And
they'd give us a back of box description of WoW features, basically.
Like when you complain at your mom and you say, Mom, I'm bored, I don't know what to do, and she gives you chores. It's just like, why, Mom? This is not what I asked for.
That's what those other things kind of, came down to. So like people are like, oh, well, you can always PvP. Like, I don't like the PvP, so cross that off. Oh, well, you can run dungeons, and I'm like, well, there's no reason for me to run dungeons, and I don't want to pull the group together. Cross that off. I mean, it's one of those things where, yes, they delivered a lot of content, and this isn't, again, this is just a thought experiment. I'm quite happy with the game and how it is right now. I just want to make that very clear. But when they do throw a lot of content at us, I mean, yeah, I'm excited and stoked that there's a new, pet battle dungeon that I still haven't been able to go into yet, and I'm, just raring to go. But John, I mean, you stopped. Well, okay. As soon as you were able to crate up and sell battle pets, you're like, hey, I can make money now. Bye.
Yeah.
And you pretty much, I mean, you did pet battling for like what, maybe a week or two, and they're like, okay, I'm done.
Yeah, I thought it was a really cool system, and I thought it was, I thought they made it, like, it was really well made, but it turns out that just, like, ordering a deer around is kind of dumb. Turns out I need, like, the artistry of, like, Pokemon.
You're
like,
gonna kill Ben. He's gonna choke.
I need something fantastical and interesting when it's just like,
hey, Bambi, go ahead, bud. That's good.
Yeah, it's like, go. All right, here's another rabbit. Go.
You're so cute. How can you not like them?
Okay, so when people compare Pokemon to dog fighting, they're like, oh, we're just making a bunch of animals beat each other up and we're finding it exciting. Yet we get outraged when people talk about dog fighting. And when you really think about it, you're like, yeah, it's kind of messed up. But the thing that makes it okay is that they're fantastical creatures, and you're like, no, maybe they like to fight. Maybe they live for it.
Pixels. They're not actual living creatures.
Well, here's the problem, is Warcraft's pets look like actual living creatures. So there is a part of me that's like, no, I have taken from its mom this little fawn and put little razor blades on its hooves and told it to go murder a skunk. Like, that's what I've done. And
that deer will murder the heck out of that skunk.
And
too.
I don't feel good about it. Like, it didn't make me feel warm and fuzzy. I was like, no, this is just animal fighting and animal murder, and I feel...
Look, there's absolutely nothing wrong with taking, a mechanical pet and going up to a beast and just decimating it. It's fine.
I mean, that's the equivalent of putting guns on a drone and then going hunting.
Well, John, this is stopping the critter and battle pet overpopulation that could happen. I mean,
That's
just because I have an unborn Valkyr who, can like possess something and then randomly kill it after a couple turns, it's not, it has to happen. Otherwise, we're gonna have squirrels everywhere.
that squirrel had to die. There
Yeah,
would
That's
be
when
it
you
had
have
to
to go
die.
around Lorlathil and pick them all up and kick their nuts away.
Yeah, exactly. That is just one instance that shows how battle petting is super important. That's only one species. And I mean, if you think about how many snakes there are out in the world, I mean, there's hundreds of those,
I'm
like
just
different types, and they're just encroaching on every single environment possible because they're everywhere.
I'm just
You gotta-
saying this
you gotta
is
be
my
careful.
dividing line. Like, this is where it gets hard. Like, okay, so the Anubis idols out there, that's okay, because now we're just beating up a statue. That seems okay to me. But
I have a dog that can shoot flames, John. That's not in nature.
I don't want to imagine a dog, fiery or otherwise, getting beaten up for no good reason. So it just
there's
makes
a good
me sad.
reason.
It makes
good
me
reason.
sad. So
All right,
it's
so we
fine.
know that John Jagger is never going to pet battle. Got it. However, if you were faced with the choice of having to pet battle or killing 100 demons, what would you do?
Kill the 100 demons. I was given.
So then why don't you like killing 100 demons when it's the thing that WoW gives you to do?
Well,
they're demons.
because it wasn't like it was like picking between two crappy things. It was like, like, would you
So
like
then if you
to?
had to kill 100 demons or go play Heroes of the Storm, which would you do?
No, don't ever give that option because that is the answer.
Exactly. And that's the thing. If WoW's not giving you the content that you want, Blizzard is amazing and gave us all these other games we can go enjoy.
Well, but I don't.
So WoW
think...
might be quote unquote too big in itself, but the Blizzard universe is huge.
This is true, and I mean, at the end of the day, you do have the choice to just turn off the game. I mean, we've even seen it in chat. But I don't think this is a case of like, oh, I'm mad at the game, I want to turn it off, or I want to go play something else. I think this is a case of just like feeling like the game is giving you content, but the drip of content is super slow. And the reason that drip of content is super slow isn't because Blizzard's slow at putting out content. They're putting out content like a ton at a pretty decent clip right now. It just doesn't feel that way because it's so spread out across so many interests that you're like, man, there's
if they
not
don't
a lot
hit your interest,
going
it
on.
doesn't feel like there's new content.
Yeah.
So basically,
Yeah.
John, what you're saying is that I am in the World of Warcraft cafeteria, and I've got one of those trays that's got the different partitions of everything in there. And right now, I'm trying to go to get the mashed potatoes, but the mashed potatoes aren't ready yet. So I have to go fill out those other bits with the other stuff until the bit that I want is ready.
This analogy's weird because it suggests that, like, I have to keep going and getting stuff on my tray until the thing I'm ready or I want is ready. And that's,
Okay,
I've never
really
been to
want
a
the potatoes.
cafeteria that's been that way. Like,
Well,
hey, when are the potatoes ready? Well, not for another
You've
month.
obviously never been to a busy Golden Corral
Yeah, there you go. Thank you.
when you really want some freaking mashed potatoes and everybody's standing in front of the hot bar.
Yeah,
And
but
then you're like,
meanwhile,
I guess I'll go eat some salad. I don't really want salad, but I guess okay, sure.
and I can pick up the sirloin at any time because the dude's standing there carving it. And
I don't
there's
think any of us have eaten yet.
Mm-mm.
Sorry.
Nope. Some of us might not have time between this and the next thing they have to do today. Sad
Oh, you
face.
totally have.
I probably will. I don't think we'll go that long. We should be safe.
Let's just end it now and have lunch.
We're all going to Golden Corral. See you
All right,
guys.
everybody, we're going to be streaming from our phones. We're going to go out. We're going to eat.
Get
We'll
some
make
food.
sure we sit at a round table though, so it'll kind of be.
Oh, then we can have like a holographic setup like in Star Wars. Yeah, that's what we'll do.
There's going to be a lot of food,
We are in
eating
the future.
sounds, and talking with our mouths full, but it'll be fine. We'll be talking about WoW the whole time, so it'll be good.
Anyways, going back to the analogy though. So basically you have this whole huge partition thing where the different bits are filling up at a pace that you don't control, and you might really want those mashed potatoes, but they're just not there yet.
Yeah. I mean, if you were invested in any part of Legion's story other than fighting the Legion, you have now been waiting, I don't remember the exact date, but almost a year essentially at this point to find out what happens next. It's a pretty long time. Like, especially when if WoW's story ended on a cliffhanger is one thing. Because, books and movies and TV shows do that all the time and then say, haha, wait a year to find out what happened. But I don't really feel like some of these story threads have ended on a cliffhanger. I feel like they've just kind of ended because we were going on to the next thing and we haven't gotten back around to it. And there's been a year between getting back around to it. And that feels like a really long time. Now, I'm not saying we would have resolution on all these stories if Pet Battles, sorry, I'm picking on you, Pet Battles, you're fine.
Screw you, John.
I actually think Pet Battles is one of the better add-on things they've ever put in the game, so I will give you that.
Pet Battles is how you figure out where Jaina is right now. I'm
Yeah,
totally lying. But
I
that
was
would be
like,
amazing.
No.
I was like, wait, how does that work?
No, I can tell you right now, of the 800 pets I have, I send them all out to scout the planet, and then when they find Jaina, they come back to me and let me know where she is.
What is it, Copernicus? Mrrr. Jaina's where? Mrrr.
No, my pygmy cow's name is Tet's Distraction.
Oh. Yeah. Sorry.
My deer's gonna come back. My deer's name is Beep because it hops around and it makes me go beep because it's so cute. So yeah, Beep's gonna let us know.
So
Anyway, you were saying.
Anyway, before we had to get derailed by knowing exactly Ben's name for his cow,
Pygmy cow.
because heaven forbid it's not Copernicus that I said just randomly on a joke. Anyway, I don't like Pet Battles being in the game. Like, if it wasn't in the game, that doesn't mean that we know what the next Jaina Jaina story is going to be.
Jaina, Sylvanas, and Gen, any of the storylines that are kind of at the middle right now
Yeah.
that it's not really a
Kinda dangling.
cliffhanger, but it kind of is just because we're waiting.
Yeah, but you're also aware that, like, hey, I've been doing a bunch of stuff. Shouldn't these other characters have been doing things too? What's Muradin doing? He was like gonna talk to the planet, I guess, but I don't know.
She
Is
talks
he being
really
made
slow.
into jewelry? I don't know.
Here,
He
he
needs money. He's
chips off
cutting
part
off
of his
fingers.
hand.
I guess that's
Yeah.
Magni, not Muradin. But oops,
Yeah, that.
I was thinking of the
Muradin
wrong.
too. He's got issues. Here's my ear. Turn it into a necklace.
It's the new trend in undead jewelry.
But he's a
Wearing
dwarf.
parts of other people.
Ew.
I don't know. I don't know.
Poor Muradin. Poor Muradin. He's great. Muradin's the best of the three dwarf brothers, I'm gonna say.
Is it because he's in Heroes of the Storm?
Why, yes, Ben. Yes, it is.
Hooray!
He's a really good. He can throw a mean haymaker.
He calls down the thunder.
If he gets low on health, he just has to hang back for a little bit and he regenerates.
So
Yeah.
what you're saying is Muradin is kind of like your battle pet, but he's a person.
Yeah.
So what you do is you send people in to slaughter other people.
Actually, you're not wrong. That is kind of what Heroes of the Storm is. But for some reason, it doesn't bother me when it's people. Only when it's animals.
Well, it's because you just have a strong dislike for people. Simple as that.
Basically, I'm like,
You
yeah.
hit the nail on the head.
Woo!
We figured it out. Mystery
Wow.
solved.
Okay, I'm okay with that.
We figured it out. And anyway, like I said, just kind of getting back to the topic and away from Heroes before emails start getting written.
Oh, they're already being written. I'm composing one myself.
No, I don't
Dang,
listen
John.
to Core for a reason, and it's not so I can hear
Core.
you talk about Heroes of the Storm on this show too. Back to the topic at hand.
Warcraft.
There are too many things that people like in this game across those diverse areas. I mean, like, look, we all ended up in a place when it came to our... Why can't I think of the name? Garrison. That's it.
Mhm.
Would have thought it would have been top of my head. We stayed there for so long.
I mean, you spend so much time, yeah.
And while they've carried bits of that over, it's not like we're still to this day going back to our garrison and they're still fleshing that thing out. They are willing to drop these things going forward. I mean, I'm actually a little bit sad but we're probably not going to have artifact weapons in the next expansion.
I'm actually really sad about that because I've grown really attached to my artifact weapon.
Me too. I wish it was carrying over, I think. I mean, I don't know. Who knows what they're going to put in place of it, but I really liked knowing that my weapons were going to be good through the entire expansion. Like,
well, if you spent the time on them, yes.
I did, because guess what? It was the most important bit of gear for a rogue is to have good weapons. So I was like, these are always going to be pretty.
Yay.
So, you know, they're willing to cut things loose to make room for other things and then carry over the stuff that people care about. Although I would argue that professions could probably just be cut from the game altogether. It's time.
At this point, I think so.
Yep, that one I'll...
Yeah,
hey, you know what? That one I'll take your emails on. Go ahead and tell me I'm wrong. I don't care. I think professions are executed poorly. I think they cause problems every single expansion. I think they are a major waste of time, and I wish they didn't exist in the game. Or, you know, Blizzard could revamp them as another option, and I'd probably be okay with that.
Well,
but
hold on. Let's actually like critically look at this and the different systems and everything and the impact that it would actually cause on the game if we took them out. So professions were revamped from, well, mists. They were revamped into warlords. You know, they had the one person working on it, which is why we got what we got, to what it is now. Now there's kind of story involved with it, and you have to run 100 dungeons in order to get good. So there's that. But other than, like, say, enchanting, which is greatly reduced from what it used to be, gem crafting, which you're lucky if you get a slot for a gem on gear, and like alchemy and maybe cooking at this point too, is there a need for professions?
No.
I like going around and picking flowers and mining things. And it's really nice on lobies because they give you experience.
Okay, so there's a way to kind of get experience, and some would say maybe that's like you're zenning out for a while.
Yes.
Okay. But gameplay wise, like system wise, I mean, there's going to be people who are upset about that because it's going to hurt the economy.
Yep.
Because, you know, people who do go around and mine and flower pick and fish and all that stuff, they sell all those mats or use them, of course. So it's got its place. If you take it out, I can see the game adjusting. But of course, there's going to be people who are upset about that.
It would be a big adjustment. I know people would be upset about it. I don't know if they actually care, but I'm already seeing the chat room saying, like, you could say the same thing about pet battles. Yeah, but
I was actually going to bring that up next.
I like pet battles. I don't like professions. I don't like when I'm good at them. I don't like when I'm bad at them. I don't like giving you, yes, you, money to buy your stuff. I 100% don't like professions. I never have, and I've never been able to settle on one for my character as a result, because I always pick it and I'm like, oh, this doesn't feel good. And then I see other people on their professions and I think they're happy, and then I join that profession and it turns out they weren't happy, they just looked happy. They were happy for other reasons.
Just like real life.
Yeah, it's just like real life.
Profession. That's what it was.
I look at somebody with money and I'm like, that person's probably happy, and then you find out they're not, and you're like, oh, it wasn't the money after all. Like, it's that same thing with professions. Like, it's just 100% of it feels bad. But you are right, there is something about gathering professions that feels okay. So remove all the professions except fishing.
Yeah.
It's pretty nice too.
Okay,
so you know what though, the way that they took the old talent system and condensed that down to eliminate kind of the button bloat, and the spells too here recently, they could do something similar with professions. They've already kind of been condensing it down to make it a little more easier and simplified over time. So even if they don't remove it, they might just keep kind of decluttering it, maybe.
Yeah, but I mean, so, you know, they have the different spell or the whatever crafting levels or something. So, you know, reduces mats or you get more procs or something like that. I mean, that's kind of nice, but when a lot of that is based on RNG of like, okay, you have to make this recipe 20,000 times before you get the next level of it. It's like that, not a good way of doing it, things like that. Look, as an alchemist trying to get up to level 800 and you need to have a level 3 of one of those flasks, and the only way to get a level 3 is to make those flasks, that was a pain to do.
Dark
And-
Moon Fair quests for your trade skills were
Mhm.
super important. This
That is the
expansion because of
only
that.
reason why I got there, is
Yeah.
because of the Darkmoon Fair. But
But then they
yeah,
put in
so-
the thing where if you do the world quest dailies for your trade skills, you get 1 point added to it. It was
Mhm.
later in the expansion, but they do add catch-up mechanisms for these things eventually,
eventually,
usually on
So-
player feedback. So having
Yeah.
these kind of conversations is good, even if it is just hypothetical.
so
Yeah.
what we're saying is get rid of the trade skills, except for maybe fish. Okay.
Or, yep. Or like as Ben just demonstrated, or if we just intentionally troll people a little bit by suggesting that fishing should be the only one left in the game.
Yeah, I still need to get that up on my monk. Yeah. So okay, so we talked about crafting, and we're gonna start kind of archaeology, that can go just flat out. That
Yep.
can go.
Archaeology's bad
I
profession.
have mixed feelings on archaeology.
It was a great idea. I think it needs a huge revamp though, like absolutely huge.
For me,
Just
it
my-
was completely just, I wasn't even into it at all. And then they came out with that ghost moose mount. And then I kind of got sucked in. And with Legion flying, it makes archaeology just easy. Because you can just fly everywhere that you're going to these dig sites instead of having to run through all the mobs and get pretty much ganked by mobs while you're trying to dig up stuff.
Yeah, I did that
Well,
quest before I had flying.
Now it's kind of enjoyable.
I don't know, and here's the thing, like, I don't, so, first off, I disagree. Archaeology's never enjoyable. Unless you're Indiana Jones, and you have to fight Nazis while you're doing your archaeology digs.
It belongs in a museum.
Then that's one thing. But, here's what I'll say. Like, I'm seeing a lot of people saying, but I like this part, and I like this part, and I like this part. And most of what people are saying they like is the stuff they get from the trade skills themselves. And I think my point isn't that, like, yeah, flasks are super cool. Ghost mouses are super cool.
No,
Like-
and
Like,
my husband in the chat room pointed out a good point. The reason I started doing the rest of archaeology after the moose mount was for the legendary skin for this side up to
well,
get the pretty color for the artifact skin. Sorry, because you have to get I think 8 archaeology relics for that, and they're spread over 2-week chunks of time, so it takes a while. So I'm like, I want it real bad.
Yeah.
So you're right.
so
It's the end game. It's what you get out of it.
it's
The reason
about
I
You
did
do anything
reward.
for pretty stuff.
Yeah, the whole reason I did archaeology was for the crawling claw, and that still, like, little shitty thing still hasn't popped up in my archaeology book.
Oh man, that's been a long time since we talked about
Yeah.
your stupid claw.
And luckily, a friend gave me one, so I don't have to do
Yay.
it anymore. But there's still a race to the finish going on Battle Pets between me and Eludra for who can get that first. And I mean, this has been years since Cataclysm that I've been trying to get that thing.
Like, but
And
I think that's kind of my point, is like, we like a lot of these end goals and these rewards,
Mhm.
but beyond, like, it's kind of something mindless to do from point A to point B, they don't feel good. Like, you could tie those rewards into any number of other things in this game
This is
Mhm.
true.
and have those areas become suddenly more compelling because there's now a reward that's maybe different than artifact power or something else that's maybe not super exciting, that they could do. And I'm not suggesting that necessarily as a result. I'm just saying, like, hey, trade skills kind of suck. We could make them better and thereby make the rewards more interesting. Or we could say, maybe figure out a way to live without them and find a
Mhm.
different way to put those rewards in the game. Like, I don't think that good... Look, I don't have a 1 million subscriber game, so take this with a grain of salt. I
Or
don't think
multi-billion.
good game design is to say, well, you're going to have to do a bunch of stuff you'll hate, but you'll get something good for it.
like killing 100 demons.
At least bump it up to something you're going to do
Twice.
something you'll kind of like. Like, at least get to kind of like. Set your goal at kind of like,
Mhm.
and we'll go from there.
Maybe make the next expansion, maybe bump us up, I don't know, 25 levels. and then have cool stuff that you can
but
actually
there's
make.
people who, oddly enough, absolutely. Oh, you mean professions?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
I thought
No,
you
no,
meant
not
like
the actual,
level
like,
wise.
level
I was like,
level.
there's people who hate leveling. I don't understand it, but there's people who hate it.
Well, first of all, the leveling, that's just an arbitrary number. They can make the content stretch out as long as they want, and
That's true.
it's just a number. Who cares? But no, for the ranks for professions and everything like that, do we need like another 100 levels? I mean, for a while it was going at 75. And again, whatever. You make a whole bunch of crap to get to the stuff that you can actually use. Why don't you just make one of each piece of crap and then be able to make the good stuff?
Does it even need levels?
No, not really.
Like,
All
Just
of these are
learn
kind
new
of just
recipes.
gameplay mechanics that are still in the game that kind of came from other games.
Yeah.
Because EverQuest had something similar. And I'm sure all the other MMOs have similar ways of counting your trade skills or anything, really. It's all the numbers.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
like, one of the things I liked about the way EverQuest handled leveling up, like, weird skills and stuff like that was, because you got levels for everything in EverQuest. There was, like, holding your breath was a skill that you could get better at. And I loved it. The amount of time I spent staying underwater for way too long because I wanted my character to be able to hold their breath for a really long time is insane. It's the kind of time that only a person who's on summer vacation from school can devote to a stupid thing like that. But I did it. Like, there were cool little bonuses like that. At this point, like, the profession leveling thing is just a gate. It's just another barrier on getting into the content. And I guess maybe to prevent people from just arbitrarily switching back and forth, which keeps prices where it needs to be. But at the same time, like, it also sometimes makes people feel like they're locked into maybe something they're not enjoying or not feeling. So they keep doing this thing where it's like, well, it's going to keep progressing, but there's also catch-up mechanics to make it feel arbitrary. And so I just feel like it could be a little better.
So I got to throw this out. Habant, whatever in the chat
Habant.
room.
That's my
Habant,
husband.
okay. Oh, hey. Yeah, good idea.
Spoiled me.
Good
So-
idea. What does that mean?
No, I was about to say what the good idea is.
Oh,
sorry.
okay.
I saw what you said in chat right after. That's why I read it. Okay. It says, tie it to your questing XP, because if you think about it, for a while rogues had to level up lockpicking, and then as you leveled, your skill just went up. So why don't you have crafting follow that same route? Like, as soon as I hit level 112, I can make this new potion or something like that, and have it be rewards for leveling. Because John, you and I have talked about many times on this episode about how when you're leveling like 1 to 100 or whatever, you don't always get something.
Yeah.
This will tie in and give you at least a little bit more of something that you can do, and this way you don't have to make 100 silk weave gloves before you can make the robe that is actually an epic item or something like that.
Yeah.
I think the idea is to use questing instead of leveling. So instead of numbers, make it actual story content. I don't know if you guys did tailoring at all, but there was a chunk where you had to chase this guy around Dalaran, and it was the funniest thing to me to have to actually do something for a trade skill that involved like more than just clicking a button and getting a skill. And I think having maybe the trade skills be more dynamic like that would be great.
Yeah, I'm a fan of something like this, and definitely changing it. So yeah, John, are you still there? Yeah,
He
he's
said internet issue, going to pause and restart.
Yeah,
Yeah,
all of a
okay.
sudden we went to...
Oh, you're crunchy.
Oh,
A little bit.
man. Across the board, huh?
Yeah, for the most part. It's okay though.
Oh,
I'll just,
internet. You're so nice.
I'll mark this bit and edit it out.
So I'm going
Clip,
to briefly stop the stream.
Okay, you're sounding better to me now.
Yeah, I don't know what happened. It was like all of a sudden I got
there you
hit
go.
by a huge spike.
Uh-oh, those hackers in Dalaran who are keeping you out are attacking.
Yeah, no kidding. Yeah, it's not even stopping the stream. It's trying.
Ooh, that's no good.
Stopping.
Well, it shows
stream.
offline, so technically it is off. If anything, I can just pop us up really quick and we can get the show going.
Yeah, you might need to do that.
Where's
Because yeah,
OBS?
this isn't going through. Could be a Twitch issue too. Because
It could be. Yeah, I don't really have a graphic or anything, so for I think the old one.
that's fine. We can just put up a logo or something.
I don't want to download the new version. Mainstream.
All those people who hate fishing are DDoSing the show.
That's
right.
great.
Perfect. Repent to continue streaming.
Let's see. Where do I have an image of something? Existing.
Oh man, my whole OBS actually just broke.
No.
No, I could just pause the sound.
Starting recording. Starting streaming.
Okay, as soon as it pops up, they'll just laugh and be like, "Oh, that's the best point
It's
ever."
showing his green. Yeah.
Oh man!
Oh man!
I can't believe you
oh,
said that.
the fun we had. I don't.
we will-
I don't think
we-
it caught any of that.
We will never ever be able to go back to that conversation. Whoo boy!
We're
Bad.
back. Yeah. Okay,
Oh,
we're back.
man.
Turns out I think it was OBS actually that did it because
Oh,
OBS ended up fully crashing, and now that I restarted it, it's working fine.
Okay, well I'm closing my OBS then, so we don't need that.
That's BS. OBS.
I get it.
Yeah.
Buy
All right.
Twitch Prime
Well,
to continue your
honestly, I
stream,
don't
yes.
know. I don't know exactly where that stopped, but I know that we were talking about the crafting and how leveling up or there it is, the story progression. So questing through to teach you new recipes and stuff like that. Like I'm all for that.
I actually really like the suggestion that Just for WoW said, which is, what if you could target specific recipes locked behind quests, but not restricted by parent professions? I just, the part that really sticks out in my mind is if I really want to focus on getting my flasks or something because I want to raid, or that's where I want to focus on, maybe there's a quest that lets me go and just make that my focus, and I will just keep earning points and skills within that one area by doing this quest. So I can kind of focus it in, but you still have a little bit of that grind, and you can maybe say like, well, you know, I don't really care about building this other part of it.
Yeah. So for those of you on the stream, it essentially came down to leveling up gives you access to new recipes, just like lock picking with rogues. We talked about having the quest line, and then finished up where John was. I think that brings everything back together. So listen to it on the download if you really want to hear everything we were talking about. So sorry about that. But yeah, so crafting, I think at this point antiquated compared to what could be offered. But again, if they just took it out, who cares?
Blizzard's really good about taking what's good about games and kind of morphing it into something better. So what if they just did that with their own stuff?
That is something that I think they need to do more of.
That would be awesome.
I mean, so okay, World of Warcraft has been a great progression and evolution all throughout the entire time frame that it's been up. It's looked at things, it's changed things. Like the talent system, we had a new talent system in every single expansion until, was it Cara or Mists, where it just came to the hey, you choose 3.
I don't
John?
remember.
Don't remember.
Well, it's one of those two. It's
It
either
all
Cara
kind
or
of
Mists.
blends together when you've been playing so long.
Yeah. So then they finally found that, hey, this kind of works. And then ever since then, they've been tweaking that version of it. And I agree. I still think that's probably the best talent choices that we have. I'm cool with that. Crafting has gone through a whole bunch of different things. I still don't think they found it, obviously, since we were just talking about how we think it would actually work really well. But they haven't really updated and changed and evolved a lot of their own systems to a point where, like Cara, you were saying, they take something from another game and then make it better. Like one of the reasons why Heroes is such a great game is because they said, oh, League of Legends or Dota, which Dota was made from a StarCraft mod. But anyways, long story short, it's
The industry
in my opinion,
standards.
yeah, there were industry standards. They took them and they turned it into something more like, the novel concept of there's more than one map. There's team objective. They changed it. They took Team Fortress and turned it into Overwatch, which, if you go up on the street and talk to people about Team Fortress 2, who's going to know about that versus Overwatch, which, I mean, that's freaking everywhere. I wear an Overwatch shirt and I comment on it all the time, anytime I'm out. So, or Hearthstone turned into a big, huge thing. I mean, Blizzard is so good at that WoW and SWTOR and Elder Scrolls and Final Fantasy are probably the big MMOs right now, I would say.
I would put Elder Scrolls Online in there as well. If you didn't say it, you did. I missed it. I was doing some.
You're fine.
I was doing some behind the scenes managing, getting ready for something that we've been supposed to be doing every week, and I've been forgetting up till this point.
I appreciate that.
Ben, I'm sorry. I wasn't listening
it's
to
fine.
you at all.
John, I'm used to you not listening to me when I'm talking, so it's okay.
What?
This is just, a time where you've been caught at it. So, but yeah, I mean, if they were able to turn that attention back on themselves, like, can you imagine, not exactly even making a WoW 2.0, but just in the next expansion, changing some of these small things and, maybe shrinking the content down to not exclude systems, but just evolve them.
Yes, renew them, refresh them, make them better, like a teenager growing into an adult who's finding themselves. We're past the teenager phase in WoW. We can find ourselves. We know who we want to be. We know what we want to do when we play WoW. We log in. We want to, that's, everyone has different reasons to log in WoW.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
Yep. And
I guess that's what makes it hard to focus on what needs changed.
Yeah. So, because I have to address it, because it was brought up in the chat room forever ago, people, the first thing that people kind of point out of, hey, get rid of this and we could get more raids or whatever is pet battles. And yeah, if you took it out, there would be, believe it or not, a huge percentage of people who would be really upset about that. There is also a huge percentage of people who don't do it, and that's fine too. I don't PvP. You can take that out and I'd be fine. But guess what? There's a whole huge percentage of people who they'd be upset. So it comes down to, there are so many different systems, so many things that are put into place that make this puzzle of World of Warcraft that, yeah, when there's stuff that gets added, it might not be your cup of tea. And you have to either, play a different game or, find something that you like doing, or just, fly around Dalaran on your new class mount because you got that,
if you
whatever.
can log into Dalaran.
Yeah, that's I'm sorry, John, but your favorite pastime, you can't even do that because you can't even log in to fly around Dalaran.
I'm gonna say this real quick on that. I have yet to just fly around in a circle in this expansion, which I think says a lot about how good this expansion is. Now, I haven't been logged in a ton. Like the amount of WoW time I've clocked has maybe been lower. I don't know, hard to say.
Probably,
but it's
held your focus.
When I'm in there, I have stuff to do and I'm having a good time. I don't always feel like logging in, but when I do, I have something to do.
I type my password.
So it's been good and it's been nice. And I do think, I think to answer kind of the hypothetical question, it was
too big.
I think it is a big game that can be refined and maybe even condensed in some areas, but I don't think the answer is to just cut things.
Yeah.
Like, even with just this small cross section of us three, we care about very different aspects of this game. And even between us three, we couldn't say, well, this is the right stuff and this is the wrong stuff. Except professions can go.
Or severely alter.
I guess.
There's an idea that I want to bring up, and it's normally applied to real life things, but I want to talk about it in the context of Warcraft. And it's Danielle Laporte has this idea of core desired feelings. And the idea is think about, instead of what you're doing, think about what you get out of that doing, or words. Think about how you want to feel at the end of whatever it is you're doing. So if you want to feel like you're logging into WoW to hang out with your friends, so you want to have that social aspect, and you want to feel like I'm hanging out with my friends, I'm getting this like party out of me. What can you do when you play Warcraft to get that feeling, to feel excited or not alone, or I don't know. If you want to do battle pets, why are you doing battle pets? Is it to feel like, oh my god, there's so much cute stuff, and I want to feel happy about these fuzzy things, and they're so adorable, and I want to squeeze them and love them? Or is it that you want to take what John normally thinks of them as, is like fighting things to death and getting that kind of roar out of your system? Think about like the end goal of the actions that you're doing in game and play according to that. Maybe WoW won't be so big when you can focus on why you're playing. How do you want to feel when you play WoW?
That is why I watch Netflix at the same time as I play WoW. WoW is my I want to I want to get through my TV shows game.
Well, okay, so that's not super like wrong, you know.
No.
It's a game where there's a lot to do, and you don't need to, you know, give 100%. Okay, if I have the misstep, I die thing, or you know, if I'm pet battling, I don't. You know, there's time in between moves. I don't have to be all like, oh man, I need to make sure I jump my pet to the left and attack at this point. And, you know, just it's a good thing to do while you're trying to get through TV.
Yeah, and I'm not saying it's 100% of WoW. Like, I don't ever watch TV if I was raiding, but I'm also not raiding.
Thank you.
Like, it's a case of, or watching football games, Civ. It's kind of just a casual experience for me. Like, I can't watch a show on Netflix and play Heroes of the Storm at the same time. One of those two things is going to get ignored. And it's probably going to be sometimes both, and people are going to be mad at me. So playing WoW, I can go through and do Deaths of Chromie and keep my attention focused also on watching whatever I'm watching on my laptop. And that's fun. That's a way for me to enjoy multiple things that I enjoy at the same time. So it sounds kind of like a diss where it's like, WoW's the game I play when I just don't care. But it isn't. Like, I want games like that. I do the same thing with Diablo. Diablo's another really good, hey, I feel like doing multiple things at once kind of game. I don't have to give it all the attention in the world. And I think it's important to have games like that. And WoW kind of is that for me.
So it allows you to feel like you're being productive as well as kind of just chillaxing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a relaxing game for sure.
When I'm not raiding, that's how I play. I always have something on my second monitor going and just kind of like, you know, relaxing, going through. I might stop and look at something really quick to be like, that's funny. Or, you know, if there's a visual joke or something.
Way? Have you always been that way when you play WoW, or have you had times where you want to focus on the story, so you're consistently staring at your screen and you're engaged in
that's the
the story?
When I'm actually leveling, you know, beginning of an expansion, I'm dead set and watching everything and seeing what happens and stuff like that. And then basically when I hit max and finish, you know, the lore master for the expansion, then I pop on something else.
Yeah.
So
I'm the same way.
And there's so many things in the game that you can choose. If you want to feel like adrenaline rush that day, you can log on in PvP. If you just want to chill out and go fishing and watch something on Netflix, you can do that. And I think that's what makes WoW so great in its being too bigness, is that you can play it and get your $15 a month and or your 125k gold was worth. And you can do so many different things and not have to do other outside of WoW things if you don't want to, but you can, because you're technically never behind unless you're like on a mythic raiding team.
Yeah, pretty much.
If WoW isn't your job, you're never behind.
Well, with that, I think that really sums it up.
Yep.
Yeah,
Thanks
Kara,
for having me on, guys.
Yeah, it's always great having you on. I'm glad that we were able. Well, no, okay, I'm not glad that I worked as much as I did. That kind of forced us to do the show on Saturday. But I'm glad that you're available to fill in, on the weekends. So thank you very much for joining us. It's always great having you on.
Thank you.
Yeah, we should name you our weekend correspondent.
Yeah,
Oh, I like it.
there you go. So, John, next time we work on a weekend, make sure that you have that actually in text underneath her picture,
Right.
on the screen.
Weekend correspondent.
Yeah. In the meantime, until the next weekend that we record, where can we find you, Kara?
You can chat with me on Twitter. I'm at Xandara, Xandara, and I would love to chat with you, all you listeners, about anything we talked about or any kind of Warcraft related things, because I like Warcraft.
I couldn't tell.
Not at all.
No, definitely not. John, how about you? Where can people find you?
If people want to hear more from me, you can follow me on Twitter at John_Jagger. If you say, hey, John, what's this Heroes of the Storm you keep mentioning a lot?
Hey, John, what's this Heroes of the Storm you keep mentioning a lot?
Oh, well, I'm glad you asked. It's another video game by Blizzard, and I happen to do a show about it.
Oh.
Pet battles for people.
Yeah. That would be a fun name for a show, except I think it might be morbid. Anyway,
Jimmy, punch him in the face.
You can do it now, Jimmy. You can find out more about that on Core.
Core.
Whoa, it's high pitched.
That's because I was gonna say I don't want to punch him in the face. I think he's gonna hit me back.
Which is part of the Frog Pants Network. You can find out more about Core.
Core.
At heroesforyou.com. Ben.
Yes, John.
Hi, first of all.
Hi, John.
Hello.
How's it going?
Good. I'm drawing it out again. Sometimes I draw it out. Sometimes I just ask you right up front.
Ask me what?
We've gone long, so naturally it's one of the times...
Well, technically, we haven't gone long because of the bit that's going to get cut out where we had technical difficulties.
Oh, right. Well, I mean, it wasn't that long of technical difficulties.
Oh, well, I mean, it was a full half hour.
What?
No, I made that up.
I've lost all sense of time. It's gone. I no longer...
4 in the afternoon.
Hi, Ben.
Hi, John.
Hey, if I was an inquiring mind wanting to know where I could hear more of you, maybe even more about these battle pets you keep talking about, where could I do that?
Well, the best place to find me, if you want to hear me blather on about stuff, or type stuff, actually, because, yeah, you don't hear me there. Follow me on Twitter. I am at Ben the Mage. But if you want to hear more about these wonderful things called battle pets, you can always listen to the podcast Battle Pets.
Battle Pets.
I do that with Eludra. Thank you. I do that with Eludra, and it is a show all about battle pets in the World of Warcraft, kind of like the title says. Yeah. This show,
fighting animals, y'all.
We're decreasing the surplus population of squirrels. Yeah.
Aw, nuts.
Yeah. This show, Azeroth Roundtable, you can find us on Twitter. We are at AzerothRT. All of our episodes, including this one, once it's done, will be on AzerothRoundtable.com on iTunes, Stitcher, and TuneIn. And of course, our intro contains music by those wonderful folks at Blizzard. And I forgot to say, hey, if you want to complain about crafting or our take on it or whatever, send those emails to AzerothRoundtable@gmail.com. I'm getting things mixed up. Yeah, it's the morning. I don't understand what's going on.
Hi, Ben. Welcome to Saturday.
Thank you. One other thing, too, that I need to mention. John and I have not discussed how we're doing an episode next week yet because we're both going to be at Nerdtacular. So, yep, we'll have something probably up on the feed after I get home, maybe?
Maybe a Nerdtacular episode.
Nerdtacular, you guys!
Happy Nerdtacular! We're almost there.
Happy Nerdtacular! Woo! Yeah, I figure we'll probably record something there. I don't know if it's going to be like an actual show or just us talking for a half hour or something. I don't know. Yeah. We'll figure it out.
It'll be a 30-second recording of a video of you guys trying to take a selfie and then realizing it's not a picture, it's a video, and then you'll post it on Twitter.
Nice.
Oh, we can do that.
We should do that.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you very much. Yeah, so with that, Azeroth Roundtable for all of your roundtable needs.
And, as usual, this show is made possible by our patrons. So up front, I want to give a very special thank you to the Murloc Club.
Woo!
Murloc Club is Simon, Rich Collier, and Haster. Thank you all for being Murloc level patrons. And hey, we are going to try to give a shout out to our new patrons every episode as we get them. We haven't done it before, which means we have some to get through. So I'm gonna read some. So a big thank you to Denise F, Scott M, Jim G, Eric N, Elizabeth T, Cake Empress, Mimi H, Arthur E, Steven, just listed as Steven, Brian A, or maybe Brian Apartment, I don't know. Richard W, Eric C, Phaedra W, Lee, Mikhail L, Cameron H, hey, we know that guy, Nathan R, Bradley E, Father Dante, G, WoW Player, Dre, Kimberly G, Miss Noid, Musicita, I never remember which way it is, but I always remember the remix you did from our show, and I still like it. Mew Cow, Walter L, Paul W, Jordan C, Patricia R, Spaz Wesson, and our buddy Ro at Realm Maintenance, Renee C, Bimini, and Adam C. I ended up doing the list.
Yeah, we talked about you just doing like a couple people a week. But
no,
wow,
I decided
you did the whole thing.
I decided I decided to do the whole thing. I didn't know what the protocol was with last names, so I just did abbreviations.
So we went back to kindergarten.
You did it right.
Okay.
We went back to kindergarten plus
you know which one
names.
you are. Yeah.
Steven, you know you, Steven. Keep on being Steven.
Yeah. So everybody, thank you very much for the support. We greatly appreciate it. It helps us keep this show afloat and going.
Patrons are the best.
Yes, they are. And with that, take care and enjoy your time in Azeroth, assuming you can log in Dalaran. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Say goodbye, John.
Bye. I said it
at the end of the episode.
Said it in such a way that it didn't even register as the words that it was. It was just like,
bye.
Like, it's weird because if somebody's like, "Hey, I'll see you later," and you're like, "Yeah, bye," like it makes sense. Like that word doesn't seem weird, but the way I said it, it lost all meaning to me. Bye.
I want that mashed up into an NSYNC song.
Bye. Oh, so it's like, oh my god, that's where Reaper got his inspiration. He was listening to NSYNC, and then all of a sudden he's like, I just want people to die. Ooh, I know, die. I don't know the rest of the song, so I can't make up words for it.
Yeah, I don't know. I just know the one word.
That's a parody idea for anyone that wants to take it and run with it.
Time to do it. Time to make it happen.
You know what? I wonder. Someone's got to have done that already.
I'm not 100% sure why I said bye like a transformer or...
I have not seen any of the Transformer movies, but the preview in front of Wonder Woman that I saw for the new Transformer movie looked really interesting.
They always look interesting. Then you watch the movie, and then you're sad.
Aw, I don't want to be sad.
Yeah. Because you realize that it's a movie where somebody came in and was like, hey guys, what if special effects? And then we called it a movie.
And that is the thing in the preview that looked really cool about it, so darn. I mean, I guess if you just want to watch it for the special effects.
Yeah, I mean, if that's your thing. I mean, clearly it's his thing. Like,
what if you just turn off the sound, like wait until it comes out on DVD or whatever, and then turn off the sound and be like Beavis and Butthead and just go the whole time and like make up whatever they're saying.
I would
That's
watch. So here's what I would watch. If you took all the Transformer movies,
All
you
of them.
removed all the people from them. So anytime
All
it's
the
just
people.
showing people on, there's no people. And then you removed all the audio except when Optimus Prime is talking, or maybe also Megatron. And so they were the only dialogue, and then there was no sound otherwise. I think it'd be a good movie.
John,
I'd
that
watch it.
movie would be 4 minutes long.
I'd watch it.
Yeah, I'd watch the 4-minute version, definitely.
Exactly.
Okay, this may bite us in the butt, but I found
Butt.
this.
But
I heard it too.
Come on.
This butterfly
here.
again.
No.
Transformers playing DDR.
No. It's just someone doing.
yeah, that's why you gotta pre-screen your YouTube videos, Ben. This is
Well,
this has just been a disappointment all around.
I can't pre-screen it
like I'm
without
actually,
you guys hearing it.
I'm not just disappointed for our listeners. I'm disappointed for you too.
Okay, well, fine. I'm gonna. Actually, I think I can if I do this. Okay, keep talking.
I mean, now we're just interested in what you're doing because you're up to no good.
What if Reaper did the Reaper dance on a DDR pad, but it was only the up arrow?
That has to have been made. I feel like I've seen Reaper doing his little spin while standing on a DDR mat. If it hasn't, then it needs to be done.
Yes.
It should probably be animated. And he should be
Yeah.
shooting lasers around the arcade.
Hmm.
Ben, why don't you stop looking for whatever you're looking for and just go watch a Carbot animation or
No,
something?
it's not as good as you'd
It's
think
so
it was,
cute.
but I found it.
No, this is okay.
Yeah.
Ah.
Boo.
Yeah, I know, not worth
They
it.
have
That
the
should-
concept. That's like the rough draft. But
Yeah.
it
But
needs
like you need
work.
to fit it in. You don't just like, oh, let's do this audio. You just cut out one of the dies and then put it in to match the beat, and then see, it'd be way
That's how you get that
We can do
sick
it better.
meme funding. You take that
Yeah.
to meme Shark Tank.
How is that not a thing? That needs to be a thing.
I got an idea for a meme, you guys.
I did not hype it up too much, Aludra. I went in there especially saying this isn't as good as it could be.
No,
Yeah.
It wasn't
you
hype. It was focus.
yeah, you
Intense
Yeah.
focusing on the YouTube search.
you hyped it up through your actions. Like people knew you were working
Oh.
diligently in the background, so it was like, oh,
Oh,
what's Ben gonna do? You
I'm
should have
looking
just
at a
abandoned
screen.
ship.
Yeah, I should have.
Yeah.
I should have.
Did Sarah
That's
ever hear back from DX Racer about her chair back?
I don't know about anything about her chair back.
Oh, okay.
She didn't tell me anything about it. Did
She
you hear-
tweeted it. Don't you read her tweets?
I have been so busy this past week. I haven't even looked at
He's
Twitter.
too busy for her tweets. Hashtag bad boyfriend.
Oh, did you hear back from them? No, she hasn't heard back from them.
Ah. Tell her I made a displeased noise of rah.
She made a displeased noise of rah.
Tell her that we just made hashtag bad boyfriend a thing and she can use it as liberally as she wants.
John just said that they made hashtag bad boyfriend a thing and you can use it as liberally as you want. Because I'm a bad boyfriend, apparently.
Because he doesn't
'Cause
read.
You don't read her
Because
tweets.
you don't read her
that I'm
tweets.
not, I win.
Well, does she know that you aren't reading her
no.
tweets and don't
Yeah,
care?
Yeah, but she's also seen how much I've worked over the last week and
fair.
understands.
I feel like we need to talk to Sarah for a minute.
She just said, "I also pay for where she lives, so she's not gonna rock the boat."
That's fair. That's very fair.
Okay, Ben, that's friggin' enough. Ben,
Yeah, oh, awesome.
DDR, y'all. DDR.
On that note, I think we should all go eat something.
Yeah, I'm really hungry, so I think we should do this. I think it's a good plan. I'm starving.
All right.
Enjoy your weekend, guys.
I'm going to. I'm so excited. I don't have to work.
Yay! You can go fishing.
Actually, I'm going to take my paladin around and, get blossoms and whatnot.
I'm just
Yay.
gonna walk around Dalaran. Oh.
Oh.
I'm going to walk around everywhere but Dalaran on every character except the one you actually want to play.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Well, Cara,
Hopefully
again,
they
thank
get
you
it
very much. Oh,
Of
sorry.
course. I just said hopefully they get it fixed.
I hope so soon. Because, John, we need you back in game.
Keep us posted on Twitter.
I know,
I'm gonna be wondering.
Chromie needs us. I keep checking the forum to see if somebody's gonna post like they fixed it for me, but no. So anyway, all right. Thanks everybody.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.